I'm 81 years old, and I need to tell you about the phone call I never made. For 37 years, my brother lived just 40 minutes away from me. We saw the same doctor, shopped at the same grocery store, probably passed each other a dozen times without knowing, and in all those years, I never once picked up the phone. He died 14 months ago, and last week, his daughter brought me something he'd written, something that changed how I see everything I thought I knew about being right. My name is Walter. I had a good life by most measures, married my high school sweetheart, Margaret. We raised 2 kids. I worked 35 years at the same company, retired with a pension. People would say we were lucky. Stable marriage, healthy kids, no drama. But there was this hole, this thing I never talked about, and it had a name. Richard, my younger brother. We hadn't spoken since 1987. 37 years of silence. And the worst part? I couldn't even remember exactly why it started. It started with our father's will. He died in 1986, left everything split between me and Richard. The house, the savings, everything 50-50. Simple, right? Except for one thing, Dad's watch. A gold Omega he'd worn every day of his life. Worth maybe a few $100s, but to us, it was priceless. And he didn't specify who should get it. Richard said Dad promised it to him. I said Dad promised it to me. We both believed we were telling the truth, and neither of us would back down. The argument got ugly. Things were said. Not about the watch, not really. Old wounds came up. Who was the favorite son? Who took care of Mom when she was sick? Who sacrificed more? The watch was just the excuse. The real fight was about 30 years of things we'd never said. Margaret begged me to let it go. It's just a watch, Walter. Is it worth losing your brother? And I said something I'm ashamed of now. I said, he started this. When he apologizes, I'll talk to him again. Richard probably said the same thing to his wife. And so we waited, each of us waiting for the other to blink first, waiting for an apology that never came. Days became weeks, weeks became months, months became years, and somehow 37 years slipped by. You know what's strange about a feud that lasts decades? After a while, you stop thinking about it every day. It becomes normal. The absence becomes the default. I missed Richard's daughter's wedding. He missed both of mine's. Our kids grew up not knowing their cousins. Christmas dinners had an empty chair that nobody mentioned. My mother, before she passed in '94, tried to fix it. She'd call me crying sometimes. Walter, please. Life is too short. You're all I have left. I told her Richard needed to apologize first. She died still hoping we'd reconcile. There were moments when I almost broke, when I'd see something that reminded me of our childhood, the lake where we used to fish, the song our father used to sing. I'd pick up the phone, dial half his number, then hang up. Pride is a strange thing. It starts as protection. You're protecting your dignity, your sense of being right, but over time it becomes a prison. You can't back down because you've invested so much in being the wronged party. Admitting you might have been wrong feels like losing. So you double down, and the years keep passing. I told myself I didn't miss him. I told myself I was fine without a brother. I told myself this so many times that I almost believed it. 14 months ago, I got a call from Richard's daughter, Sarah. I hadn't spoken to her in decades. She was crying. She said, "Uncle Walter, my father passed away this morning. Heart attack. It was sudden. I sat down on my kitchen chair and I couldn't move. My wife asked what was wrong. I couldn't speak. I just sat there, feeling something I can't describe. Grief, yes, but also something worse. The weight of 37 years of silence crashing down on me all at once. I went to the funeral, sat in the back, didn't speak to anyone, just watched them bury my little brother, the boy I'd taught to ride a bike, the teenager I'd protected from bullies, the man I'd refused to speak to for longer than some marriages last. Then last week, Sarah came to see me. She was going through Richard's things and found a box of old papers. Inside was an envelope with my name on it, a letter Richard had written, dated December 15th, 2009. 15 years ago, he wrote me a letter and never sent it. I'm going to read you part of what he wrote. I've read it maybe 50 times now. Each time it breaks me a little more. Dear Walter, I've started this letter 100 times and never finished it. I don't even know if I'll send this one, but I'm 68 now and I've been thinking about time, about how much of it we've wasted. I don't remember who was right about the watch anymore. I'm not sure it matters. What I remember is teaching you to swim when you were 5. I remember us building that treehouse that collapsed the first week. I remember you standing up for me when Danny Morrison tried to fight me in 8th grade. I miss my brother. I miss you. I know I said things I shouldn't have. You probably did too. But I'd give anything to sit on your porch again and drink a beer and talk about nothing like we used to. I'm not asking you to admit you were wrong. I'm not asking for anything except a chance to have my brother back before it's too late. I hope you're well. I hope Margaret is well. I hope someday you'll read this. Your brother, Richard. He wrote this 15 years ago, and he never sent it. Maybe he was scared I'd reject him. Maybe his pride stopped him too. Maybe he sat by his phone the same nights I sat by mine, waiting for a call that never came. And now he's gone. And all I have is this letter that arrived 37 years too late. Here's what I've learned, and I need you to really hear this. Pride is the most expensive thing you'll ever own. It costs more than any inheritance, more than any watch, more than any argument you've ever won. I won that fight with Richard. For 37 years, I held my ground. I never apologized first. I never gave in. I won. And what did winning get me? A funeral I watched from the back row. A letter I'll never be able to answer. A lifetime of memories I can never make with the person who knew me before anyone else did. The thing about siblings is, they're the only people who share your entire history. Your parents remember you as children. Your spouse met you as an adult. Your kids only know you as a parent. But your sibling? They were there for all of it. Every version of you, every stage of life. When you lose that connection, you lose a piece of yourself that no one else can replace. I see families torn apart over inheritance fights, over old grudges, over things that seem so important at the time, and I want to shake them. I want to tell them what I know now. Nothing is worth losing your family over. Not money, not pride, not being right. If you're watching this and you have a brother, a sister, a parent, a friend you haven't spoken to in years, I need you to listen carefully. Don't wait for them to apologize first. Don't wait for the right moment. Don't wait until you've figured out exactly what to say. Just reach out. Today. Not tomorrow. Today. Pick up the phone and say, I've been thinking about you. That's it. You don't have to admit you were wrong. You don't have to have a big conversation. Just open the door, because here's what I know now that I didn't know then. The person who reaches out first isn't the loser. They're the brave one. They're the one who values the relationship more than their ego. And if the other person doesn't respond, at least you tried. At least you won't have to live with wondering, what if? At least you won't find yourself at 81 holding a letter that came 37 years too late. I keep Richard's letter in my shirt pocket now. I read it every morning, not to torture myself, but to remind myself that time doesn't wait, that the people we love are on borrowed time, that every day we choose silence is a day we can never get back. I'm 81 years old. I've buried my parents, my brother, more friends than I can count. And if there's one thing I know for certain, it's this. Regret is the heaviest thing you can carry, and the weight only gets heavier with time. Don't carry what I am carrying. Don't let pride steal years from you like it stole from me. Don't wait for a letter that comes too late. If this story means anything to you, I'd appreciate if you'd share it with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe someone you know who's in a similar situation. Maybe someone who's holding on to a grudge that's costing them more than they realize. Leave a comment and tell me, is there someone in your life you've been meaning to reach out to? What's stopping you? I read every comment, and I'd love to hear your story. And if you've got your own lesson to share, something you learned the hard way, there's a form in the description. Maybe your story will help someone else avoid the pain you went through. The clock doesn't stop. The people you love won't live forever, and some calls can't be made from a funeral. Make the call today.